Welcome to Push to Pass podcast with JP Murray, a discussion about business, racing, sports, and life. This podcast delivers insights on what makes businesses, teams, and people successful based on real-life business experiences. Following a career with America's largest associations, JP Murray founded the Murray Company, one of Washington, D.C.'s most successful consulting firms. The company was acquired successfully and enabled him to launch JP Murray Racing, a business development and sponsorship agency for auto racing teams. Here is JP.
Hello, it is JP Murray Push to Pass podcast, and we're going to go to zero and build again. What do I mean by go to zero? Some of us have gone through a career life change. We completely go to zero. We completely change industries. Oh, by the way, your host did that about a year ago. You go to no authority, no staff, no clients, no reputation, no expense account, starting all over again. And by the way, here's another thing. Just because you were a CEO or you had responsibility or authority, it really doesn't mean a heck of a lot anymore. I'm not enamored by the title on the business card or on your LinkedIn profile. Because sometimes leaders get to the top by being less threatening or having fewer losses or being a better backslapper. It doesn't necessarily mean that they built something to get there. But a lot of people did. A lot of people built it to get to the top. But just because you got that president, CEO title doesn't impress a lot of people anymore. So if you're starting over again, you might feel like you're going to lose. You might second guess yourself. You might feel like you can't come back. Oh my gosh, I can't do this. You don't believe. It starts to creep into you. There's another thing that could happen though. You could be afraid of winning. I think about high school football. Rarely was there a huge opening. There's a big hole that God in the offensive line opened for me. The hole was there. There's nothing but green grass and daylight to the goal line. But I remember it happening once. And you know what? It almost scared me. I saw the daylight and I was afraid to go. But I think in business, you've got to go to daylight. You got to run to it. You got to get your knees high and you got to go to that finish line. You got to go to the goal line. You got to put the number up. Sometimes we can second guess that. So I want you to get your mind straight as you go to zero and you start again. And then what does business growth look like? Oh my goodness. I learned you can take several approaches, but let's talk about two when you start from the base again. One, you can market like everyone else. Ads in the trade journal, association event booths, hand out phone chargers, and koozies with your brand on it. Free consultations. Call this number, fill out this form. I'll talk to you for free. You know what? Those things can work. But it costs more money and investment because everyone else is doing it that way. Everybody's going 55 on the same road. There's nothing wrong with that. The alternative, however, is to do it totally different. And you can do this now because of all the tools we have available to us, like this podcast to build awareness, videos, free webinars, give all your tips and processes away. Oh, by the way, somebody might steal them and go take them. That's all right. My thinking is most people know what to do anyway, but they just don't. So what's the risk of putting things out there about how you do it? Storytelling. Doing this totally different. When you do this at scale, it makes your company appear a lot bigger than it really is. Now, here's the secret. In doing things different, you're going to attract people that don't like it. In fact, you're going to have haters. You're going to have second guessers. They're going to talk behind your back at the industry reception. They're going to think you're a huckster. That's fine. They will doubt you while you pass them on the track and they wonder what the hell happened. Or you took a different path and all of a sudden we get out of this downturn or recession. And oh my gosh, they're a mile behind you. You can go both ways. Neither one is wrong. But let me tell you, if you do it like everybody else, it costs a lot more money and it takes more time. If you do it a different way than everyone else. You can go a lot faster. It requires less expense than the other most often. And oh my goodness, it's a heck of a lot better story to tell. And by the way, don't forget, stories sell. Data tells, but stories sell. Hey, I hope this is helpful to you, even if you're not going through a big change. But it's at top of mind for me now. I cannot wait to chat with you next week on the Push to Pass podcast with JP Murray. Talk soon.
Thank you for listening to the Push to Pass podcast with JP Murray, a discussion about business, racing, sports, and life. If you would like to sponsor Push to Pass, send an email to jp@jpmurray.com. Follow JP on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. His website is jpmurray.com. Until next time, push yourself to pass the competition. Thanks for listening.